My dear friends, there is a beautiful saying in life: your habits become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. Many people think karma is some mysterious force sitting in the sky, waiting to punish or reward us. But karma is much simpler than that. Karma is like planting seeds. Every thought, every word, every action is a seed. Some seeds become flowers, some become thorns. And often, without realizing it, we keep repeating the same patterns again and again. Someone hurts us, we hurt another. Someone insults us, we react with anger. Someone ignores us, we become bitter. This becomes a cycle. A man once told me, "Sir, my father was angry, so I became angry. My son is now angry too. It feels like anger is our family inheritance." I smiled and said, "Number anger is not inheritance. Unconscious living is inheritance. The moment awareness enters, the cycle can break." Today, let us reflect on how conscious choices and selfless service can free us from negative karma and create a life filled with peace, purpose, and spiritual freedom. Number 1. Awareness is the first step to breaking karma. Most people live mechanically: wake up, complain, rush, react, sleep, again and again. But conscious living begins when we pause and ask, "Why am I behaving this way?" There was a young corporate employee named Ravi. Every day, he returned home stressed and irritated. His wife feared talking to him. His children avoided him. One evening, his little daughter handed him a drawing. In the picture, everyone in the family was smiling except him. He asked, "Beta, why am I sad in this picture?" The daughter innocently replied, "Papa, you are always angry." That sentence shattered him. Sometimes truth does not come from scriptures. It comes from the innocent mirror of life. That day, Ravi realized something powerful. Stress from office was becoming suffering for the family. The next morning, instead of immediately reacting to pressure, he started sitting silently for 10 minutes before work. He began observing his emotions rather than obeying them. Slowly, his reactions changed. His office pressure remained the same, but his consciousness changed. Friends, karma is not only about what happens to us. Karma is about how we respond to what happens to us. Two people can face the same insult. One creates hatred, the other creates wisdom. Same situation, different karma. Awareness creates that difference. When we become conscious, we stop being prisoners of old patterns. And that is where freedom begins. Number 2. Every conscious choice creates a new destiny. Life changes not through giant miracles, but through small conscious decisions repeated daily. A farmer once had two wolves inside him, one representing anger, greed, jealousy, and ego, the other representing compassion, patience, and kindness. Someone asked, "Which wolf becomes stronger?" The farmer replied, "The one you feed." That every day we feed something within us. A woman named Shalini had a habit of gossiping. She never considered it harmful because everyone does it. One day she discovered that false gossip about her had spread through relatives. She cried for weeks. Her grandmother gently told her, "Now you know how your words must have hurt others." Pain became her teacher. From that day onward, before speaking, she asked herself 3 questions. Asterisk, is it true? Asterisk, is it necessary? Asterisk, is it kind? Her relationships transformed. Friends, this is how karma changes, not magically, but consciously. When anger arises and you choose silence instead of shouting, karma changes. When ego arises and you choose humility instead of superiority, karma changes. When selfishness arises and you choose generosity instead of greed, karma changes. A conscious choice is like turning the steering wheel of destiny. Even a tiny turn changes the entire direction of the road ahead. Many people say, "This is just how I am." No, that is just how you have practiced being. Transformation begins the day you stop identifying with your old conditioning. Number 3. Selfless service purifies the heart. One of the fastest ways to break selfish karma is selfless service. Why? Because suffering grows when life becomes centered only around me, my success, my pain, my recognition, my comfort. But service expands the heart. There was an elderly man named Joseph who became deeply depressed after retirement. His children lived abroad. His wife had passed away. Every day he sat alone watching television. One day, a neighbor invited him to help distribute food at a local shelter. At first, he refused. "What difference will I make?" But eventually he went. There he met hungry children smiling over a simple meal. He met lonely elderly people who only want to be. Conversation. He met struggling workers who still carried gratitude in their hearts. Something changed within him. He later said, I went there thinking I was helping others, but actually they healed me. Service does that. Selfless service removes the dust covering the soul. When we help others without expecting applause, our heart becomes lighter. Many people today are materially connected but emotionally disconnected. Service reconnects humanity. Even small acts matter. Asterisk listening patiently to someone, asterisk feeding a hungry person, asterisk helping without posting it online, asterisk speaking kindly to workers, asterisk supporting someone silently. These acts may look small externally, but spiritually they are enormous. Because every selfless action weakens the ego, and ego is the biggest chain of karma. Number 4. Forgiveness stops the cycle of pain. One of the deepest karmic cycles is revenge. He hurt me, so I will hurt him. And this chain continues for generations. But forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is spiritual intelligence. There were two brothers fighting over property for almost 15 years. Court cases, insults, family division, everything. Their aging mother suffers. Read silently. One day she fell seriously ill. At the hospital, she held both their hands and said with tears, When I leave this world, will you continue this hatred too? Silence filled the room. For the first time, both brothers realized their ego had stolen 15 precious years. After their mother recovered, they ended the conflict. Not because the property issue disappeared, but because love became more important than winning. Friends, holding anger is like drinking poison and expecting another person to suffer. Forgiveness does not erase memory, it erases emotional slavery. Some people are physically free but emotionally imprisoned by resentment. Conscious forgiveness breaks karmic repetition. And sometimes the greatest act of selfless service is giving peace instead of revenge. Number 5. Spiritual growth begins when we stop blaming others. Many people spend life saying, My parents caused this, my boss caused this, my boss caused this, society caused this, maybe they did hurt you, maybe life was unfair. But healing begins the moment responsibility begins. A teacher once drew a small black dot on a whiteboard and asked students what they saw. Everyone replied, a black dot. The teacher smiled and said, No one noticed the large white space. Human beings often focus only on pain, mistakes, and negativity. Conscious living means seeing possibility beyond wounds. Your past may explain you, but it does not have to define you. Karma is not a life sentence. It is a learning system. If we learn the lesson, the suffering no longer needs to repeat itself. That is why spiritually evolved people do not ask, Why is this happening to me? They ask, What is life trying to teach me? One question creates bitterness, the other creates wisdom. Final thought, my dear friends. Breaking karma does not require escaping to the Himalayas. It begins in ordinary moments. Asterisk choosing patience over anger, asterisk choosing truth over manipulation, asterisk choosing kindness over ego, asterisk choosing service over selfishness, asterisk choosing awareness over unconscious reactions. Every moment life gives us two options. Repeat the old pattern or create a new future. Remember this carefully. Your destiny is not built in one dramatic day. It is built in small invisible choices nobody applauds. A kind word, a forgiven mistake, a silent prayer, a helping hand. These become the brick S of a peaceful life. And the beautiful thing is, the moment you become conscious, your future is no longer controlled by your past. You become the author of a new karma. So let us not merely live automatically. Let us live consciously. Let us serve selflessly. Let us love deeply. Because the soul finds freedom not when it controls the world, but when it finally conquers itself. Thank you.